Okay, hi students. All right, in this tutorial I'm going to cover on how to use the Unwrap UVW modifier to texture to get your image texture projection to project at your model correctly and with more controls, okay, on a complex shape of object. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a bit more complex shape of object here, which is like a simple airplane here. Obviously is way more complex than just a cube, right, or a cylinder that you can just use a UVW map to project the texture that I've taught you in the previous class. But in this one, it will be difficult for you to use the UVW map, okay, because there's a lot of plane that needs to be projected on different angle. Okay, so you can't use the one here, the UVW map, to do the job. You can't rely on this one. You have to use the Unwrap UVW. Okay, so this gives you more controls. All right, so think of it as this is the 3D object, and if you were to flatten the object, what would you do? How can you flatten this object? Okay, imagine this is like a cardboard airplane, and if I ask you to flatten it, where would you put the cuts so that it can be flattened? Okay, let me open the, let's say, paint. Okay, let's say if you have like a box, right, and if you were to flatten this, you have to do some incision, maybe here, maybe here, so that it can open up. All right, so that it can open up and turn to something like this. Right, so if you want to flatten the box, it will look something like this. So this is the UV that we want to create. We not really physically want to flatten this object, but just the UV projection of it to look like this, so that we can bring this to Photoshop, or latest pipeline is you can use the Substance Painter and paint your 3D models directly using Substance Painter. But the more traditional way is using Photoshop. Since this is a basic class, I'm going to show you a little bit using Adobe Photoshop, of course. All right, so you paint this texture, you bring this into Photoshop in a form of a PNG image, and then you can then when you have it flatten in Photoshop, and then you can start painting your texture in the UV. Then you can then bring it back into, put it into the material, okay, in the color or color, and then you can then transfer it back to the 3D model. And then let's say if you put a circle here, it might appear the circle over here. That's the cycle of the 3D creation. All right, okay, so let's have a look at this. So here I'm going to of course, once I'm done with this model, now I'm going to put the Unwrap UVW and then put the Unwrap UVW. all right, by default you can see this green line, which is actually representing the default cutoff line, cutoff UV. Okay, so you can actually open this, and let's go down and open the UV editor. So when I click this and open, I'm going to resize this to something a bit more manageable. Okay, you can see this green line. See this green line here? All right, all these green lines, these are basically the line over here. but this is the default, so the default is super ugly. Okay, now you have to create your own UV for this. Okay, now the first thing you want to do is you don't want to see this green line, right? So go down here all the way to configure, then just uncheck the map seam. Is that a peel seam or a max seam? Yeah, this one here. Leave the peel seam on, but the map seam off, so that you can focus on your own cut UV cuts. Okay, not the one they provide by default. And then you go to select all the 3D object, go to the polygon, so not edit poly, yeah, just come back, just click no, yeah, go back to polygon here in the unwrap, select all the object polygons here, like that, or make sure you select all, hold control and select, or you can click one and then click at the peel here, just click at expand to polygon, so it should expand to all because we haven't created the border yet. Okay, and you can also just do a quick simple seam. Okay, so you can click like a cube. See what it does is it projects everything in a cube shape like that, and then you click again to turn it back off. Okay, so what we have is all of this is projected in a flat plane like that, and then what we do is we need to decide how do we cut this into flat UV. So in this case I want to separate the wings, okay, so that it's a separate UV layout. And yeah, this one here, as you can see, what you want is you want to put all your UVs inside this box, not outside of the box, just inside this one. Okay, so let's say I want to add a cut here so that the UV will be separated from the main body, so the wings will be separated. So you can choose in a couple of ways you can do this. You can select the edge that you want, hold control and just select, or you can just double click on this if it helps. All right, and then you can click at the peel here, this one button over here, convert edge selection to seam. If I click that, you see now it become blue. Okay, another way, instead of doing that one, you can also do this way. You can use the point to point seam. So you click from one point here into that point, and it can actually automatically detect here if you skip a bit, but be careful. Like for example, if I go over here, so you might choose a different route, you might go here. So if you want more control, you have to go step by step like that, and then close it, and then right click, and then turn it off. See, it's the same. See, these are two ways to put the seams to do the UV cut. If you make mistake, for example, maybe you accidentally like that, or you accidentally do that, if you want to undo this, you want to remove this, I don't want this to be the UV to be cut, you go to the edit seams. So if you click and hold alternate and select, it will remove it, and then make sure to turn it off. Okay, now at this point this two is actually separated. Okay, so let's try that. Let's go to the polygon. I'm gonna double click, or just click one and then click expand to polygon. See, it will only expand to the cutted seams here. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna bring this up. It's gonna look weird here, never mind. And I'm gonna hit quick peel. Okay, let's undo that. Let's click peel here. Okay, so it will become something like that. So what we want is we want to click on the pelt map. Okay, we just go to the pelt map, click that, and start pulling. Just press the start pelt. Okay, and if it's no longer moving, click stop and commit. So right now this is the new look, but this is not the proper flat way, right? So is this the flat version? No. So if I go to, if you want to check, you go to over here, you go to texture checker pattern, so it will project that checker pattern box here, or you can use this one. Okay, and you will see that, you know, it's supposed to look square like that in the texture, but this looks fine, but this one looks bad. You see, its texture are squeezed, right? So that's not it's not final yet. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this up, right? So let's select. So in order to make it really flat, you have to make more peel seam. You have to cut more peel seam here. Okay, so imagine this is the box like this one. You want to turn it into flat, right? So I will click, I'm gonna go with the yeah, the point to point, and I'm going to figure out how to flatten this properly. Okay, all right, so definitely need to, I think I'm going to go to the vertex mode instead. Point to point. Oh, actually it doesn't matter. Right, let's go to point to point, choose this one, and right click if you want to exit. So we will do a cut there. I want to make it yeah, I want to make it cut here. Okay, and I want to add a cut, same thing. I'm going to cut here and here. Right click. I think that will flatten it very nicely. Okay, let's have a look. Let's try that. So right, so click this to turn it off. Go to polygon, select one polygon, and then press this button, expand to polygon again, and I'm gonna hit the peel again, the pelt map. So click that and click start pelting. There you go. It looks somewhere better a bit. Hit commit. Okay, it's looking good a bit, you know, like it's getting there, but not really, right? Still a lot of distortion here, more worse actually, but the shape is starting to look, starting to have some shape here. So what we're going to do here is, with this selected, we're going to go to the tools, we're going to go to the relax. Okay, and yeah, we're just going to use the default new one here, the Unfold 3D Optimize. Just all I need to do is click apply. All right, and then that's it. It works. So as you can see, I can rotate the texture here. It looks exactly like how I plan to flatten it, right? See, this is the top, this one is the side, this one is at the back, and then this is at the edge there, and then this should be the bottom, this one. See, and it projected the texture perfectly flat. All right, so this is at an angle because it's at an angle like this, so that's why the projection is like that. Okay, so one wing down. Let's do the next one. So this time it will be more smoother. Okay, because just have to click here, use the move tool, and just push it. Just put it outside first, right? And then let's do the same thing here. Okay, click on the point-to-point seam. I'm going to cut here and here, right click, here and here, right click. Right, so actually once you understand how to use this tool already, get the hang of it, it will be very fast, super fast. Okay, so I'm done this part. So I will now turn this off and double click, select one and of the polygon, and then just expand it here by clicking this expand to polygon, and then click the pelt, start pelt pulling, stop. Okay, start, stop, commit. Okay, once you commit it, and then it's time to apply the relax. Oh, I think you can right click here and relax, yeah, this one over here. So yeah, there you go. Okay, let's try that again. So tools, relaxed, yeah, apply. Yeah, this is actually more better. Alright, I don't suggest you use the relax here. Somehow not sure why the setting doesn't work properly. This is better. Okay, so then I rotate it this way. So this is the other wing. Alright, the other wings. And then I'm going to do the body. Alright, so the body is a bit more bigger and complicated. So how do we flatten this? I am going to let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate. You can separate like the whole thing off, or you can have it connected in a way. So that one is really entirely up to you. All right. So for example here, let's say if I were to just right click, I just want to cut this off, and then I leave the top part here. Okay, I'm going to do a cut here as well. See the angle here? If I want to flatten this, it will be a bit harder because there's some corner here. It's like a pool, so I do need to cut like that. Right click and then continue cutting here. And yeah, this one here, right click, this one right click. I think it's done. Okay, this will definitely flatten better. All right, let's have a look at, let's do the bottom one first. Turn it off and then select one, expand to polygon. Again, just click the peel, start pelt, stop, commit, and then use the relax, apply. That's it, close. So we have the bottom part there. You are looking good and better, right? Make sure you can, okay, you can do this, you can turn it on and off. You can also do something like this if you want some fancy, more accurate looking texture. Alright, you want to avoid distortion, because if this is distorted, so let's say if I go to vertex and I grab this point, and if I use the move tool and just stretch this out, so you notice that there's a stretching there. See, like that. See that? Okay, so you can monitor. Alright, so here I go back to checker box. Down bottom is nice already. Now let's do the top one. Okay, go back to polygon, select one, expand, peel it. Okay, there's a relax here, but ignore that. This is a different kind of relax, because if you apply that, you just go crazy. So it's good. See, now there's some bugs. It will happen like this, so yeah, be careful with that. All right. Even if I undo it, yeah, it 3D Max bugs for the unwrap. Okay, so let's close it, let's open back. Hopefully it doesn't fix back. That's one of the problem, you know, if you're facing this one small steps, wrong steps, you get rubbish like this. Unfortunately, this one still works, right? the bottom one here, right? Let's do the top part again. Select, go pale, start belt, stop, commit, then go to the relax here and hit apply. Okay, that fixed the problem. Alright, so that is basically your, you can use a WER to switch between this, move, rotate and scale. Okay, so this part is done, but the wings looks crazy, right? Yeah, thanks to that just now it just screwed up this one, so I just have to do it again. Belt it, commit, relax, done. Can even leave it on here. Yeah, this one, expand, belt it, start, stop, commit and relaxed. There you go, done already. Okay, gonna rotate this. Alright, so I have, as you can see, this belongs to the airplanes like this. This belongs to the left side. This belongs to the right side. And this one is at the bottom. Okay, now we need to pack all of this in the box here, this tiny box. Okay, so there's a faster way. If you want to do it, you can go use the arrange element. You can just custom pack. See, it will custom pack all of it. It does a great job. Or you can do it manually yourself lah. So basically, like, you just rearrange yourself. Like, this is not straight, so I'm gonna straighten this a little bit more. Yeah, get some ADHD there. Like, don't, make sure you don't overlap each other, so just make sure it has its own space. Oops, double click. Okay, and another thing is, since this one is the biggest, right, the main body, okay, it should have the, well, I mean, you just check the box, make sure the box have the same square size, which means it represents the amount of pixel it will get. One thing that is not good, if your, let's say if I scale it like this, now that won't be a good idea, because if you look at the amount of pixels, this main big body parts is going to get less pixel, while this slightly smaller object like the wing is going to get more pixels, which means the texture is going to be sharper here than the main body. So that is not good, right? So make sure you resize it correctly. Okay, so that the best would be to try to get the checker box here looks the same size as it's supposed to be. Then your texture will get the, you know, the enough resolution. All right. Okay, so this part is done. So what do we do next is we want to transfer this into Photoshop, right? But to do that, we need to take this snapshot of this small box area here as a PNG, because we want the background to be transparent, but we still want the line here to be our guided line, right? The UV line here. So we go to let's see, I think it's tools, render UVW template, and then you can choose your resolution. Okay, like this is all tiles, just the default. Okay, there is a more advanced one, which is multi-tile. You can use other tiles as well, but for this basic tutorial we just focus on one tile here. Okay, so the resolution here is 1024 times 1024 is a bit small, so let's give it a bit bigger resolution, so like 2K. 2000 by 2000. Okay, resolution. No, don't guess it. It should be a 1:1 aspect ratio, so this should be 2000. Okay, I have a 2000 resolution texture here, and that's it. Now I'm going to click the render template, render UV template, and this is the 2000 by 2000. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go click the diskette icon here to save image, and then I'm going to save it. Okay, let's say I save it in the, of course not the max scenes, I'm going to save it in the render scene assets. Yeah, sorry. Okay, scene assets under images. Okay, so I'm going to save this as my plain UV. Okay, and I'm going to choose PNG. All right, and hit save. Make sure you choose the default RGB, this one. Hit OK. Make sure alpha channel is ticked because you want to have a transparency. Click OK. All right, so this part is done. Now once you're done this part, do not move the UV template, like do not go change it like this, okay, because it's already in place here, because what you're going to be painting in Photoshop is going to be, you know, put it right directly at it. So I'm going to click close. This part is done, and then just bring the Photoshop. I don't know what is this. These are my some. Okay, let's see. My scene assets, images, this one here, the UV. It's gonna drag and drop and put it here. Okay, so right now you don't see things. Okay, never mind. Just gonna name this as the UV guide, and I'm going to create a new layer, which is going to be the BG, which means the background, and the background is usually black in color, so you want to give a black feeling. All right, black. And yeah, so the UV guide, you don't want to accidentally move it, right? Something that you do not want to do. You want to make sure you just locked it. Okay, locked it. But if you want it to be more thicker, if it's harder to see right now, actually not bad, as you can see, right? So it should be fine. Yeah, you can leave it like that. Now select both and then locked it. Now the texture should be like a sandwich. It should be in between here. So I'm going to make a new layer, put it below, and this will be my, let's say, base color. Okay, now this tutorial is not about texture painting, but it's going to show you, it's supposed to show you just until you get here and apply it to your 3D Max. But so I'm just going to do a simple one, not really about detail about how to paint texture nicely. And then I'm going to paint it, right? So I'm going to use B for brushed, a bigger brushed. Just very quickly, maybe I'll just use the lasso, and I just want to paint, fill everything in the main body a different color. Now you can be very messy outside, don't worry, you can even write your name here, signature or trademark or what, but whatever it is, you have to be careful of what's inside the boundary here. Okay, now I'm gonna just maybe we give a dark red color. Okay, then the window, maybe the other parts are different color. Okay, like maybe this is a Selangor. Okay, Selangor airplane. So yeah, so this is one quick way to fill in the boundary. For the red, yeah, this one's supposed to be red. Is at the bottom piece. Not nice. Okay, I'm gonna not that red, right? So let's do a color picker of this red. Okay, so we've done that. Let's say you want to put something. I'm just gonna draw a simple funny looking cockpit. I'm just black ink. Maybe the cockpit will be here. Yeah, switch the color. All right, it's gonna paint. I'm just gonna fill this in. Okay, you get the idea, right? Okay, so once you've done all this, you can save this as your raw PSD file. But you can also, yeah, this is your working file, right? So I'm going to save this as a PSD. So plain color. So this is the color map. Let's say this is the PSD. You want this is your main master file, so you want to save it as PSD. So in case you want to modify it later. Yeah, why not I add something a little bit extra here. I'm going to put another layer here, put it below. Since B for brush, maybe I'm going to name this as use. That's my name, right? Okay, I'm going to save that. You can put texture and all that. Image, just put it there, collage it. Alright, let's do some photo montage on digital painting or something like that on the surface. Okay, so this is the main master file. The PSD, I already saved it. Now let's go back to 3D Max. Let's press M for material and let's plug in that PSD. Okay, the PSD is just the master file when you're still working your texture, but once you finalize your texture, you need to save it as a JPEG or a Targa or TIFF, okay, or PNG as the final image that's supposed to be on the model, because the file size is lighter, okay, and it's more of a common file type. So this one, I'm going to change, open PBR, change it to Arnold standard surface, right? Okay, I'm going to give this material to the object, and at the base color here, I'm going to click at this one, and I'm going to choose the bitmap. Right, so I put search bitmap and choose the one with the map general here, right? Okay, and now I'm going to choose the UV PSD. Press open. Collapse layers. Yeah, click OK. Choose collapse layers. So now there you go. The texture is there, but you see the UV is still there, right? So what you can do is now you can work iteratively. You can like hide this, and then you hit Control S, and then when you go back to another application, yes, this is one of the main problem, because when you try to save, it says that this software is using it, so sometimes that happens. Yeah, so Control S, just overwrite this. Could not save because 3D Max is using it. That's one of the downside of using this method. It wasn't like this last time, but nowadays it's getting more this error coming out and making it more prominent. Alright, so how do we fix this? Because I can't save this. Right, so every time I save this, it will say that, oh, there's another application using this PSD file. which is of course the 3D Max file. So what you need to do is you do need to let's try the reset, save it first. Okay, I'm going to reset, so we're not using the file, and then let's try and save this again. Still same. So basically you have to close 3D Max. Okay, once 3D Max is closed, you should be able to save your work. See, no problem. And when you open back 3D Max, you should have your texture. Alright, I have closed back my 3D Max and I have opened it back. It's like a bug sometimes that warning comes out in Photoshop. So for example here, still in the PSD, right? And then I have my 3D Max that I have just reopened again. And when I say I close the UV guide and then I hit Ctrl S, see it saves, and then when I go back 3D Max, it should update it and I can work simultaneously. So yeah, sometimes when that error happens, you just need to close your 3D Max, save your Photoshop file, reopen it back again, and after you done some updates, so let's say something like, I'm going to add something here, paint it on this layer maybe. Okay, maybe not that one. Hard brush would be better. Okay, let's see. A for anarchy, right? Alright, and let's say I just hide, don't forget to always hide the UV guide, and then Ctrl S. If it goes through, then when you open 3D Max, it should update it. See? Oh, it's at the bottom. My bad. Alright, so that is the workflow. And usually after you're done finalizing your texture, you would want to save this as the more workable one, like especially if we work in the games, so you want to save another version in like a JPEG or Targa TIFF. Alright, so export as, I'm going to put it JPEG, same here, highest quality, export, because the file size is very small and it's going to make it a lot faster to render. 3D Max is going to render it more faster. So where did I put this? It's somewhere here in the scene asset images color map JPEG version. Okay, so just re-update after you've done the texturing. Go back here, click this one, just right click and clear it on the M, right click and clear that again. So right click on the M icon here and clear it, and then click again and choose bitmap. And map general bitmap, and choose the JPEG here. This is the JPEG. Okay, so you got your final looking texture. Alright, so that's the tutorial for today. Hope you guys learn valuable lessons and have a good day.